Colonel Sanders hype. I completely forgot to record. Oh well, we missed only the interaction with we only missed the interaction with on the recording with Tomitake-san, so it's not that big deal. Solid thwack rang through out Hinamisawa, as if the job was being done by a lumberjack.
どう？うまくいきそう？無理そうだったら無理しなくていいよ。
ここさえ折れればあとはなんとかなる。今日は気力も充実。いける。
But this adversary was more formidable than I expected. First of all, I had never used an axe before. Well, he is a city boy, so it's not like he really ever had to do that. During a school camping trip, I had wanted to split the wood, but I lost at rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. Because the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired. I decided to take a break. I hope that the picture of Rena is not in the way. I had already spread out a tarp and laid down some tea and sweets.
大丈夫。もう一息。今夜レナが寝るときにはランディ君にお休みのキスができるようになってるさ。
ありがとう。ランディ君、お休みのキス。
そういえば、レナも転校生だったんだろ？前はどこに住んでたんだよ。
I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. I had thought she'd lived here all her life.
お、関東の方だよ。ここほどじゃないけど、やっぱり田舎だったかな。
なんで引っ越してきたんだよ。ひなみ沢に。
Oh, this is much easier on my voice.
ほら、ここって結構田舎だろ？
ケイチ君はなんで引っ越してきたの？お父さんの仕事と関係あるのかな？
うちの親父がアトリエを移したいって言い出したんだよ。こういう山奥がいいって前々から言っててさ。
アトリエ？ケイチ君のお父さんって芸術家さんなの？
風景画ばっかり描いてる。年に2回くらいはどっかで個展を開いてるらしい。
Yeah, Rena dodged the question expertly. Colonel Sanders is the true villain of this game. When he started, his works were displayed in an industrial plaza in Tokyo, but now they are exhibited in Makuhari Messe. He's determined to have them displayed in the Waterfront International Exhibition Hall.
それってすごいね。今度レナにも見せてね。
I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father painted. Well, eventually I would. Eventually I would. I picked myself up while giving some vague answers.
でも、楽器途中の転校だったんでしょ？大変じゃなかった？
別に都会ってのには飽きてたし。
I was trying to get answers from Rena, but I ended up being the one giving out all the answers. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of the axe and headed back to the worksite. The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The Higurashi began their song, as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more. Today I would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Rena as I worked, but now I didn't have that luxury. I had swung the axe countless times today, just like this. Contact. Shards of wood splintered. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloid. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes are not meant to be swung at people ever. With one last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the axe not only split through the beam but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. The arm came off with a sickening sound. It clattered down noisily, stopping at my feet.
大丈
ごめん。人形の腕壊しちゃったよ。
夫？なんだ、ケイイチくんが怪我をしたんじゃないかって思っちゃった。
Oh, Rena is so thoughtful. I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Rena said that without a hint of dismay as she smiled.
ガムテープとかでくっつけて、その上に上着を着せるもの。絶対わからないよ。
そっか。じゃあ引っ張り出そうぜ。そっち持ってくれるか？
Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling to my feet to be such a bad omen. No, the foreshadowing. Both Rena and Mio knew how sickening that incident was. So they pretended that they didn't know it. I had looked it all up by myself. And shamefully enough, I was scared. It's gonna be fine. Nothing bad will happen. It's a completely innocent game.
よっしゃ、レナ。一気に行くぞ。せーの。
やったよ、ケイイチくん。わーい。
The right time to give 3 cheers. Yes, it's a very nice dating sim. I think I'm gonna pick Rena. That moment of 2 days work bearing fruit. He who was brought to Hinamizawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master is a pretty decent person.
わー、ランディくんだ。やっぱかいいよ。
Cute. It didn't matter that he was dirty. Rena nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was dead tired, but seeing Rena's happy face made it all worth it. Yeah, that would be sick to pick Rika. I'll help you. Oh, right, I don't have to read. A reflex.
ケイイチくん、本当にありがとうね。
Sand
この恩は忘れないね。
Sanders root? Ooh, that'd be quite something.
恩返しは何がいいかよく考えておくよ。
どんな恩返しだろう。恩返しだろう。
For now, I'd just hold back my evil cackle. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled the statue up in the top and lifted him. Rena already on Sanders' route. Yep. I mean, who wouldn't be? Just take a look at him, so... That's the one sexy man. I mean, what? Can we have a Tomitake route? And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unsheathed axe. I prayed that we wouldn't run into Tomitake-san. If he saw us here and took a picture, we'll need to get rid of him. LOL. Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words Tomitake-san. Unable to grasp my sense of humor had left behind. New tips. Well, that's a singular tip, but whatever.
レナがいないです。ケイイチは知りませんですか？
あれ、たった今までそこにいたのにな。おいミオ、レナはどこ行ったんだ？
レナ？お手洗いじゃない？覗きたいなら止めないけど通報するからね。
I hadn't heard anything about that.
さとこ、レナを知りませんですか？レナさんですの？さっき廊下ですれ違いましたよ。レナさんは日直だから花壇にお水をやらないといけませんので。
ああ、レ ナが日直か。そりゃお疲れ様なことで。
Rena. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to mind. Yeah, Satok looks really evil. It's rude to say this about someone's name, but it was a weird name. It was like some foreigner's name.
レナってどういう名前なんだろうな。レナって漢字だと。
レナはあだ名なのです。ちゃんとした名前がありますですよ。
え、そうなのか？俺はてっきり竜宮レナってのが本名だと思ってたよ。
まあ確かにレナさんとしか呼んでませんから間違えるのも無理はないですわね。
She even signs her name as Rena. It's like it's her real name in school.
本当の名前はなんて言うんだろうな。レナが戻ってきたら聞いてみるかな。
Oishi route. That would be interesting to say the least, considering the... I mean, yes, that would be completely interesting. I mean, who is Oishi? I don't think we've met Oishi. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at each other.
聞かなくてもいいですよ。
You don't need to ask... Oh, right.
僕たちが教えてあげますです。
God damn, my reflex just to read this.
お礼の礼に奈良の名。竜宮レーナが本名ですのよ。
レイナか。それでレイナじゃなくてレナって読むのか？面白い読み方だよな。
いいえ、違いますです。レイナで正しい。レナさんが言ったのですわ。レナと呼んでほしいって。だからレナさんなのですわ。
ケイちゃん、レナはレナだよ。レーナって呼ぶのは他人だけ。そこんとこ分かってるよね。
I understood what Mion was saying. It didn't matter what her real name was, only what names we used between us. Rena Ryugu is Rena. She's nobody other than that.
思ったんだけどさ、自己申請すれば俺も今日からあだ名で呼ばれるのか？
面白けりゃね。なんて呼ばれたいわけ？
越後屋。
Rena then came back into the classroom. One of the juniors near the door told Rena people were looking for her.
あれあれ、誰かレナのことを探してたかな？
Why does she look like she's blushing so much all the time?
かな？
Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered.
お代官様、竜宮めがまんまと現れましたぞ。
I gotta love the actual translations here.
いちごや、主も悪よな。何かな。ケイチ君とみーちゃんが悪代官だよ。
The voice acting is actually pretty good. Pretty goddamn good.
いちごやだよ。
おのれ竜宮レナの助。ここであったが100年目でおじゃる。
Thou meetest thy maker.
いざ覚悟。
I don't think that's the correct expression to have right now.
さ、格さん、こらしめてやりなさい。あやいさですわ。報酬はスイス銀行に入れてほしいのです。
Since it's Oh, nice effects. Since it's come to this, we have no choice. We'll just have a grand battle with 5 people. Rena's fierce punches exploded in the proper timing to take out the seal. The evil that was Mion and myself was vanquished in the end.
レナにはぜひ世直しの旅に出てもらいたいもんだ。永田町なんかどうだ？
ダメだよ。旅先でかいものちょろまかすから。
The toll of the bell signaled that break time was over.
ほらほら、ケイチ君もみーちゃんも先生来るよ。
I took Rena's hand and stood up. It was just as the teacher had entered the classroom. Just one more hour. Man oh man. Got to buckle down for one more. Okay.
どうだったケイちゃん。
レナさんの家に行ったでございますか？すごかったでしょ？そんなことないよね。
Unlike my house, the Ryugu residence wasn't a newly constructed. It had been renovated from a pre-existing building. Well, the house itself was fine. The problem was the yard. There, it was crammed with rows upon rows of oddities. They were all the same as Colonel Sanders, stuff you'd see while walking around in town. The cake shop mascot Little Licky. What is that? What is Little Licky? Is that an actual thing? Well, I can't find anything in Google. Oh, here and there, even a limb or two. Yeah. Yeah. You know, something nice. The cake shop mascot. The Toadalmon in front of the pharmacy. She even had the amazing flying elephant from the top of the department store.
そこまでは100歩譲って可愛いことにしてもいい。だがあの郵便ポストは変だぞ。
Mailbox.
ああいうのってまずいんじゃないのか？
だって、かわいいんだもん。
She must have just thought about it because her face filled with delight.
出かけりゃいいのか？出かけりゃ。
で、お部屋には小さいものがごっちゃりと陳列してありますの。前に拝見したことがあるでございますわ。
で、リカちゃんみたいな可愛い子は地下室にしまうのか？
何でもしまっちゃうよ。
Now there's their face.
かわいい。
So she takes anything she likes back to her nest. No ill will intended.
なあ、レナ。ニューヨークに自由の女神ってあるだろ。あれ、可愛いか？
かわいいよ。欲しいよ。
The US should probably come up with some countermeasures ASAP. If not, the Statue of Liberty really will take a trip to Hinamizawa in the not so distant future. Yeah, Satoko has really uncomfortably red eyes. That's a pretty good point. Well, Satoko just in general is a very strange one, to say the least. Rika-chan had returned.
職員室に呼ばれるなんて面白くないよな。なんかやったのか？
失礼な。リカはケイチさんのような不良とは違うでございます。
Her eyes really are red. That's really weird. I think they are red? Can't tell, I'm colorblind. Satoko is also colorblind. Oh, that's interesting.
違うよ、ケイチくん。リカちゃんはお祭りの実行委員さんなの。
祭り？学校の文化祭かなんかの？
ケイちゃん、ケイちゃん、この前言ったじゃん。村祭りだよ。
Oh right, the Onikakushi is soon. Well, come to think of it, she did say there'd be a festival at the shrine during the next break.
その綿流しって何なんだ？ 灯籠流しみたいなもんか？
最後に沢に流すってとこだけは同じかな。
傷んで使えなくなったお布団とかと寺とかにね、ご苦労様って感謝して供養しながら沢に流すお祭りなの。
This game's so innocent. The people living in Hinamisava dumped their futons and padded cloaks in a stream. Hi Nagels, you're... well, there's still like 20 minutes left until we're changing the game. As long as Sleg is here, we're playing Higurashi, so yeah. And after that, it's time for more Reseter. Although before that, I will go fetch some more coffee. Oh. It sounds like it would be a lot of trouble if it backed up the current. Maybe they should just drop some fish in and have a fish wrangling competition. Skewer them and sprinkle a little salt. Oh man, I could smell it already. Yeah, I got the new version. I bought it in from G2A and registered it on Steam, and it's already updated as well. So yeah, it's the newer version. I already also got the second chapter already as well. So.
それじゃあサマーキャンプですわ。
Now, fortunately, this means that I'm not gonna be reading. Fortunately, unfortunately, whatever. It means that I won't be reading the parts where there is voice acting. So that's good for me, so I can save my voice.
ケイチさんって意外に想像力貧困でございますのね。
なんで俺がくだらん想像をしたことが分かった？
There was a problem with updating the graphics, so I didn't update the graphics, unfortunately. I might do that before the next stream, but with the updater there was some problem, so I had to stop updating the graphics. Unfortunate.
表情に出てましたです。
The graphics are anyways quite fine, so... What sort of face could have expressed what I'd imagined just now? Rena demonstrated for me. I see, no argument here. I don't know what it was a problem with the updater or the patcher itself, so... Yeah. Unfortunately though, it didn't take long for me to actually get back to the point where we left off, so... Although I kind of failed at starting the recording earlier, so there was one dialogue part with Tomitake that we kind of missed, that's missing from the recording, so that's unfortunate.
まあそんなに面白いものじゃないけどさ、楽しみにしてりゃいいじゃん。
みんなで行こう。当日は迎えに行くからね。
I don't really feel like going to festivals unless someone asks me to. I wouldn't get bored if these guys were going.
退屈どころか今年もやるぜ。
Mion's proclamation came as she looked at each member in turn. What was this all about? From the way Mion looked, it was probably... Firefight!
センスねえ。なんだよそのネーミングは。
レナは可愛い名前だと思うけどな。
I tried to object sharply, but since Rena looked happy about it, I decided it was pointless to fight it.
ケイチもいますから、今年は五強爆闘になりますです。
Rika-chan made a small correction in light of my presence.
で、この仰々しいネーミングの部活動とお祭りがどう結びつくんだ？
日頃部活動で培った実力をご披露するのでございますわ。
その通り。日々の厳しい試練を乗り越えた精鋭中の最精鋭たる我々の実力を。
I really like the voice acting. It's Pretty goddamn fitting.
でも去年は村長さんに怒られたし、今年は迷惑をかけないようにしないとね。つまり
Any
露天巡りを
problems?
しながら部活動をするわけです。
Satoku has an audio-sama laugh indeed. It's very irritating to say the least. Now that's a face even a mom could punch. I mean, Rika-chan really is the only one who explains things so they make sense. I see, so we'll be exhibiting on those busy festival grounds. Rena was right. Of course that would be a reason for the mayor to get angry.
でも楽しいんだよ。
That was the only point I did not doubt. It would be without question fun. The day of the festival was drawing near.
じゃ、それはそれとして、今日も始めようかね、部活動。意義は
なーし
Our voices rang out in unison.
やっぱり人数が多いときはトランプが一番の王道だよね。まさにこれぞテーブルゲームのベーシック。
また乾杯トランプか？
今日は新品。傷はないから本当に条件は互角。
本当でございましょうね。そのカード改めさせてもらいますわ。
Well, that was fair. Just to be safe, everyone checked the cards.
これなら大丈夫だよ。
みんな納得した？じゃあ今日はね、大貧民にしようか。5人って人数もいい感じでしょ？
That is an interesting name for a card game. Another standard card game. First one to get rid of all of their cards wins. The basic rule, play a better card than the one before. You can play straights and pairs. There are various techniques that improve the game like reversals. But because it's such a well-known game, there are lots of house rules for it as well. The name, for example. In my hometown, we called it Millionaire.
一応細部を確認しとくぜ。ジョーカーはオールマイティか？ 3は3枚でも革命可能か？
ジョーカーはなし。2が最強。革命返しはあり。3でも4枚なきゃ革命不可。
あとね、ゲーム開始時に貧民がいいカードを上納するってルールがあるでしょ？あれはなしなの。
While I was confirming the familiar rules, Satoku looked over at me cautiously. I probably should have tried to look more of an amateur. I was pretty used to this game. It's President and it's with a new deck. Today I might be able to win. I had the gist of the rules now. But that wasn't everything, was it?
今日の罰ゲームは何でございますの？
それなんだけどさ、みんなで何枚かメモに書いて敗者に引かせるってのはどうかな？
Oh, that seemed like it could be interesting. And here comes the Ojo-sama laugh.
どぎついのを書いてケイチさんに引かせてやりますわ。あんまりひどいのを書くと自分で引いたとき大変だよ。
負けなきゃいいってんだろ？
わかってるじゃありませんの。
Mion handed out several slips of paper to everybody.
じゃあ適当に書いてこのカバンの中に入れて。負けた人はこの中に手を突っ込んで1枚引くってことで。
Now then, what would be a good penalty? Worst case scenario, you draw what you wrote. Something too intense would be like digging your own grave.
何もなしって書くのは禁じ手にしましょうです。
Rika-chan's casual suggestion caused Mion's hand to lurch to a sudden halt.
ミオンさん卑怯ですわ。何もなしって書いてカードを折ってあるんですの。
I see. Just in case you lost, you grabbed the note with the folded corner and you'd be safe. That was a good idea. diabolical as ever, Mion. Rika-chan is quite formidable too, being able to see through that. I couldn't underestimate her even though she doesn't stand out.
みんな、あんまり意地悪な罰ゲームはやめようね。
Nobody agreed to Rena's proposal. Everyone was ruthless.
大丈夫だよレナ。負けなきゃいいんだからな。
Just don't lose.
そうだね。よし、頑張ってレナの罰ゲームをみんなに聞かせるぞ。
Rena was quite brutal even though she usually appeared meek. Better not underestimate her either.
同感ですわ。特にレナの罰ゲームってのがとっても気になるでございます。誰の罰ゲームでも怖いです。
I still didn't know what Rika-chan's penalties would be like.
つまりこのゲームには負けられないってわけ。ご一同覚悟はいいね。
We all nodded determinedly. Having confirmed that, Mion dealt out the cards. Finally, the battle begins. My official prediction is that Rika-chan will win. I think that's the case. If I remember correctly, I have no memory actually, so I don't have any recollection of who would win this. I don't even know if this was in the game, in the anime itself. So yeah, I had a decent starting hand. Card after card was played in the middle. This part isn't in the anime, so okay, good. So I'm not just remembering poorly, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be Rika-chan. If not that, then it's Rena. Okay. Card after card was played in the middle. Not needing Mion to tell them, both Rika-chan and Satoko played their cards without hesitation. Rena and I were the only ones who paused to think. It seemed that Rena genuinely couldn't make up her mind, but I was different. I was like a shark stuck in its prey, just waiting for the right time to strike.
これ通るのかよ。じゃあ3出して上がりだぜ。
9いないですの。8、7上がりでございます。5と5上がりますです。じゃあ最後の1枚を捨てて上がりね。
Oh, that is surprising.
用意したか。
The loser of the first round was, of all people, Mion. And now I was certain. Today I could win.
じゃあ
I should probably predict the loser instead. It's probably going to be... Let's go with the wild card and say that it's going to be Satoko.
みーちゃん、この中から1枚引いてね。
Alright, Michan already lost. We'll see who actually ends up losing the next one. Mion, accepting her defeat, scrounged around inside the bag and pulled out one piece of paper.
誰これ。はいです、誰。
Mion quivered and shrieked.
どうなの。
Rena was also surprised when she peeked at it. What kind of terrible thing was written on it? Bet the principal on the head.
ちょっと待て。これがどうやばいんだ。
圭一さんは気づきませんの。校長先生は頭髪が薄いことを恥ずかしがってますの。
Satoko yelled with a serious look on her face. But she wasn't as loud as Mion's shriek. What could it be?
校長先生は武道の達人なのです。
Oh, okay.
若い頃は世界を修行して回って武術の奥義を極めきったと豪語してますの。戦後の日本の教育の乱れを憂いて教育者に転校したんだって。
Polish so it reflects even better to blind his enemies. Yes, that's the perfect use for bald head, to blind your enemies. He was inhuman. Bet that guy's head?
部長の私が模範を示さないわけにはいかないね。
She bellowed out a yell as she dashed off down the hallway.
静かにこっそり行って穏便に済ます方が有利じゃないのか？
多分無理だよ。だって気配でアメフラシが探せるって言ってたし。
She slugs just by sensing their presence. I could do nothing but wait with bated breath. Rumble shook the classroom.
校長先生、超奥義発動です。
Aerial opening! Quarter circle Blackfoot. Lovely sound effects. Following the launcher with a jab strong fierce combo. That he's even using a meter.
G 訓導だな。
The principal's jumping fierce sounds like a multi-hit combo.
知らないよ。食らいたくないもん。
Nothing I could do now except stay calm. I understood now why there were no delinquents at this school. Delinquents. Whatever. After a few moments of silence, Mion slumped back to us.
撫でた。これでいい。
Mion said before collapsing.
とりあえず生きてますわね。ゲーム続行は可能でございますわ。
I still bet it's gonna be Rika-chan winning the game.
おに。
I was amazed the person who made club activities like these could say that.
でもこれで一番おっかない罰ゲームはなくなったね。
I think Satoko is gonna lose next. Just gonna bet that. Rena tried to lighten the mood and was only met with Mion's malicious grin. She was serious now.
もう手加減しないからね。あんたたちにも思い知らせてやろうじゃん。
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Satoko. The pace of the game became bizarrely quick. I could tell the game had gotten more intense.
これで僕も上がりますです。
へへ、俺も上がらせてもらうぜ。
And here we go, 50-50 chance. Ah, it was Rena. Ah, my fault. That's unfortunate.
負けちゃったよ。
And the heavens chose to vanquish Rena.
どんな罰ゲームだろう。どんな罰ゲームだろう。
It wasn't exactly hard for her to be worried. Just thinking of the level of difficulty of Mion's first penalty still made me quiver. And so the penalty she drew with trembling fingers was... The heck was this? Speak like a maid.
なにこれ。これってどうすればいいの？ってことはつまりそういう口調で喋れということではございませんの？はい、ご主人様。
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I had no idea who wrote that penalty, but she was awesome.
じゃあレナ、カードを集めてみんなに配ってくれるかな。
はい、ご主人様。
Ah, I could just die right now. Ding!
とにかくゲームを続行しよう。なあレナ。
はい、ご主人様。
The eagerness to which I was goading Rena into addressing me as master was downright impressive, if I do say so myself. Alright, well, now I think it's gonna be Satoko, just to make it interesting. Nope. No, it wasn't Satoko.
俺も 上がりだ
Is it Rena again?
そんな
That's odd.
またレナの負けでございますか
Rena again, what kind of penalty would it be this time? I was delighted by the mysterious sense of anticipation. Anticipation? No, this was conviction. Remove one piece of clothing from the top and bottom halves of your body. Well!
それはまずいだろう誰だよこんなの書いたの
That was probably Keiichi. My face reddened in anger. If I didn't yell something out, I wouldn't be able to hide my shaking. Ah, who did write that? God, please give that man a Nobel Prize.
きっとノーベルスケベ賞ですわね
Not good, not good. What I was thinking about was written on my face.
みーちゃん
Rena begged Mion with teary eyes, but everyone knew Mion's answer already.
はいはい、甘えない甘えない。負けたら潔く。
わかりましたご主人様脱ぎます
Well, she has the scarf and socks, so... What? I looked around thinking someone else would probably stop her. Of course I wasn't exactly trying to stop her either. Then I heard thrusting of clothing. The sound of her skirt hitting the ground sent my heart racing.
これでよろしいでしょうか
Her skirt?
ご主人様
I looked away like a gentleman. But these club activities, you needed to be ruthless after all.
なんだ
Oh, okay.
ケイチさん何を期待してますの下に体操服着てなかったらさすがに脱げませんわ
Satoko poked fun at me, but right now I can't hear it.
ケイちゃんもやるね。こっちの方向で攻めてくるとはおじさん予想もつかなかったわ。
違うこれは俺が書いたんじゃない
Hmm.
ご主人様が書いたんじゃないんですか
Her squirming around in her PE clothes made it impossible for me not to feel anything. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. Mion probably wrote that one and planned to go after me as I panicked. You can't fall for her trap after knowing it's a trap. Clear your head. Calm down and assess the situation. I was determined to think my way out of this. The answer was quite simple. I win.
俺は
And then I became a god. I who had already entered the domain of godhood. What would dare stand in my way? It was like they were pulled to me magnetically. I was picking up aces and twos like nobody's business.
なんでこんなにカード運が悪いんでございますの
So it's gonna be Satoko this time
佐藤
around.
の負けだな
Yeah.
引くぞ妹口調で喋る
はいお兄ちゃん
Yes, the pleasure of making this brat disgrace herself.
またおじさんの負けじゃん
ミオンの負けだな女子スクール水着に着替える
Girl school swimsuit, that's not even bad.
ケイちゃんに引かせたかった
Yes, Mion's despair was like a sweet honey.
ご主人様また負けちゃいました
レナの負けだな引くぞ1位に膝枕
Not even bad. It's not that bad to wear a swimsuit. I think. School swimsuit especially.
この格好でですかご主人様
Yeah! She's not wearing a skirt, so it's her bare legs. Ding!
とこの負けだな。引くぞ。1位にご奉仕。
Oh, really? Is it actually gonna be Keiichi winning all
肩でも
this?
揉んでもらおっかな。
はいお兄ちゃん。
ほら、もっと奥まで。爪立てんじゃねえぞ。
That would be rather surprising if Keiichi actually won. I had transformed into an evil dictator and couldn't be doing any better. It felt like I could control how the cards played out with my mind, and even decide what suits would appear just by willing it. By the time I realized it, I had already assembled a harem. I was laughing haughtily as I rested my head on Rena, who was now a bloomer-clad maid. Satoko was wearing a collar and had taken on a little sister properties. Mion was fanning me while wearing a school swimsuit.
今日はご主人様は圧勝でございますね。あんまり頭をゴロゴロしないでくださいまし。
That Ryoki. Okay. I began to think, why does man have no end to his desires? How could I wish for more than this palace of dreams?
どうしましたですか、ケイチ。
どうして人の欲望には限りがないのか憂いていたのさ。
That was it. Rika-chan hadn't been in first, but she continued to escape being in last.
ケイチは欲張りさんですよ。春を知るとも言いますです。
十分理解してるよ。なんて言うのかな。もう死んでもいいって感じ。
ご主人様、あんまりゴロゴロし。
Okay, Slag, I'll finish after this last paragraph.
死んでもいいですね。
So, yeah, thank you for joining. I'll probably continue if I can stay up until you come back. I will probably continue streaming and then we'll continue with Higurashi once you come back. So, now is a good time to end the Higurashi for now. So, yeah. Let's change back to you wouldn't mind dying. Yeah. That's a pretty haunting way to end this. But